I was getting chuffs left and right, and now I'm getting stonewalled. Stonewalled from a pretty kitty. And you smell like a tiger, Miss Winona. Hello and welcome. Happy Friday to all. And welcome to another live post here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. That is rescued tigress Winona. Well, she's showing off just how sweet life is here at the Wildcat Sanctuary for her and her 150 plus rescued pals here. So welcome everyone. Happy Friday. Little behind schedule, but hey, casual Friday as they say, right? But glad to be alive with everyone here and excited to be visiting with some rescues today. Miss Winona is right here in Roar Ridge, and I'm hoping to hang out with Miss Winona, and then we are going to go and visit Tiger Lucy as well. And well, I was going to start out with Tiger Lucy, but Winona and Lucy's caretaker Katrina is up at the building doing some inside cleaning, and Lucy, the as so many of our cats are, well, she's a consummate supervisor, and so she's kind of right up, going in and out of the building and being chatty with Katrina. So we'll go over and say hi to Lucy eventually, but I saw Winona. She's kind of catching her tiger breath after, well, of course, her playing with her big blue barrel over there. So hello and welcome everyone. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of another week of Living Wild at Heart, and man, it was a heck of a week too. Certainly one filled with announcements of us being able to make public of our involvement in the Oregon Roadside Zoo Rescue. I thought I was going to get stalked. And it was also obviously really great to hear from Tammy and her kind of breaking down some details in the public USDA records of the conditions at that roadside zoo in Bandon, Oregon. So certainly edifying to hear that. And obviously, as you guys know, and we've kind of been like a broken record lately, and that's just the fact of the matter with these witness protection cases when they're ongoing legal cases, is that there's only so many details that we can share, but the public details, like those USDA records, we are able to talk about. So it was, like I said, certainly enlightening to learn the tragic conditions that these 300 animals were rescued from, the 15 big cats included. Again, just another reason to feel thankful for that those cats are safe. Another reason to feel thankful for the type of support system we have here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, for us to drop everything at a hat to go and save wildcats in need. So great to hear from Executive Director and Founder Tammy yesterday on her weekly Wildcat wrap-up, and I highly encourage Miss Winona, even you don't have an iPad hidden somewhere in here to watch it, but for you all to go and listen in on Tammy's Wildcat wrap-up yesterday, because like I said, expanding on details from the Oregon rescue, as well as the normal kind of odds and sods, sanctuary updates on cats, construction updates too. It is the season now that we're in summer. It is project season and then some. It's a joke that's kind of made in Minnesota, and I think across kind of parts of the Midwest, is that there's only two seasons in Minnesota. There's winter and construction season. And I think that saying applies to the Wildcat Sanctuary even. We have winter, and obviously in the dead of winter, Miss Winona, we can't do things like habitat modifications and habitat repair or what have you, take on new projects. And so here we are in the summer, and it is go, go, go. Look at that, about 60 of you watching us today. Let's get some hellos in, and be sure to let yourself be known. I always love having a conversation with our awesome followers and supporters in the comments. Maria Vaughn saying, snack for the birthday cat, sending 200 stars, because tomorrow is Precious Prada and Miss Lovely Nova's birthday. They are 3 years old. And, it's not often that we get to celebrate birthdays at the Wildcat Sanctuary. It's not because we don't want to acknowledge the birthdays of our rescues, but the fact of the matter of knowing is that's kind of baked into the fact is that Winona is a rescue. I love you, Winona, but Winona was rescued from a backyard breeder. And surprise, surprise, this backyard breeder was not taking Winona to the vet. There's no vet records. There's no indication of when she was actually born. And so a lot of the times with many of our rescues, we would love to have those types of dates to celebrate and get excited about. But unfortunately, just in the nature of rescue, and just kind of informs of the type of care, or I should say the lack thereof, that these rescues are receiving before coming to the Wildcat Sanctuary. And there goes Winona hiding behind a piece of grass there. But let's get some more hellos. And Sheila Corwin Smith saying, good girl, Winona, got to stay hydrated. That is right. And I got to keep my shin away from that thing. Boy, oh boy, has it taken me for a ride and then some. There's Alice Freeman saying hi to Faith. Kathy Ball saying, hello, how are you doing today? Kathy, I'm doing great. And I am so happy to have you on this live. Well, I was coming around to meet you, but too bad you stalked me first. Kathy at the Rock getting excited about when we're going to be able to reveal some of the information about the witness protection rescues here, saying I can't wait to see which kitties get to see the new ones I see. So of our current rescues get to kind of see the new rescues from afar. When they're out of witness protection, any females, of course, would be greatly fawned over by Shazam, our little sanctuary Casanova, so to speak. Yeah, I thought you were chomping on some grass, but she says I'm zooming. Let's keep on getting some hellos in. Faith Warner saying hi. Hi, Faith. Happy Friday. Rayanne, our neighbor in Wisconsin. Hello from a hazy Wisconsin, and a hello from a hazy Minnesota as well. I can always tell when it's kind of one of those days, those wildfire type days, that sunlight is kind of like a ruby red. And well, today is one of those days. So we're right here in hazy in Minnesota too. Kathy Ryan checking in. Hey, Kathy. Hope all is well. Sherry V saying good morning. Good morning, Sherry. Oh, and another snack for the new witness protection cats. Another 200 stars from me, Maria. Thank you. And Jean, it looks like kind of jinxed myself with that comment you mentioned. I hope you'll be free from the fire smoke from Canada. So I guess, oh, and a beautiful filter popping up right at a wonderful time as Winona comes and stalks me. So that must be where all this smoke is coming from. So up in Canada, that's no fun. Happy Friday, Carol Hendricks. Hey, Carol. Hope you're doing well. Winona is having a blast, as you can see. And this is really just, you know, how it goes for a cat like Winona. I mentioned that her caretakers are up in her room. That means that she's already been fed for the day. That means that, well, she's probably having her indoor bedroom cleaned. I know that they were in her yard earlier this week. So the rest of Winona's day is, well, she gets to fill it with fun things like enrichment, plenty of barrel fun for a cat like this. And and it's not just fun for her, but it's almost comforting. You'll even see kind of Winona just grab onto that like it's your bear, and her little teddy bear in bed rather, and she just gets to live her life and make her own decisions and choices, and I just kind of love that we get to see very simply, this is a slice of life for a rescue at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Cat like Winona, she's been cared for, and her husbandry needs has been seen to by our caretaking staff, and now it's up to her to have some fun. And we know Miss Winona, well, she is all about the F word. F-U-N, fun. Liz Green, yes, Winona, that is your barrel indeed. Quickly gonna make sure I'm not missing any hellos. There's Susan Manty, happy Friday all. Happy Friday to you, Susan. Yeah, you're right about that, Carrie, mentioning about protecting my shins from that exposed pipe back there. I can't tell you how many times that thing has dinged me and made a big goose egg on my shin. Ellen, good morning. Glad to have you on this live. Hope all is well, Ellen. Finally getting my head screwed on straight after being gone on rescues for 2 weeks and having kind of a half week last week and reconciling all those rescues in the media and things like that. But glad to be back. Ellen, is Lucy around? Lucy is around. I mentioned that I wanted to start the live post with Lucy. We all love Lucy. How could we not? The senior tigress who was rescued from Argentina, the Mendoza Zoo in Buenos Aires, Argentina. or rather Mendoza, Argentina. And how could we not want to go visit with Lucy, and how could we not be in love with Lucy? But I see a major stinky face coming from Winona here. So once this stinky face has passed, we'll go over and visit Miss Winona's neighbor. And I think we all know by now, as certified cat lovers, what the stinky face is. But for those who maybe don't know, Winona, well, she must have smelled something pretty darn good. And what she's doing is she's kind of opening up her mouth in that unique way. And, well, she has an organ in the top of her mouth that is going to help her understand those smells a little bit more. So she's drawing that air through her mouth, and it's going to be kind of pass through that organ, or what's called the Jacobson's organ. And it's just going to help her get a better understanding for that smell. And man, oh man, it is always so fun to see that goofy face made with the stinky face, but also fun to get a little scientific with it. You know, what is that face? Why the long face, Miss Winona? Well, it's because she's smelling something good. And like I mentioned, Lucy, like so many of the rescued residents here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, they have a knack for supervising. Don't forget to add some R's in there for a little word play. But so there's Miss Lucy kind of sitting right outside of her shift. And I had just mentioned that caretaker Katrina, you can see her UTV kind of right there. And there she is, stepping out of the building. Who's been doing some cleaning and some kind of chores up in the Roar Ridge indoor area. So Lucy wanting to spend time with her caretaker, give her some chuffs of encouragement as she cleans. So let's go over and say hi to Miss Lucy. And welcome everyone if you're just tuning in to a live post here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Look at Miss Lucy all the way across her habitat. It's separated by this huge sea of grass that is just so wonderful to see her head pop up in. I'll be coming down for photos and it's like, where's Lucy? Where's Lucy? And bing, 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 kind of like the whack-a-mole or whack-a-tiger just popping her head up out of the tall grass there. But look at you, Miss Lucy. See, this is the supervising I'm talking about. Chatting to her caretakers as they're walking in. Grooming herself, saying, boy, oh boy, that was a good meal you gave me earlier. I'm just the consummate supervisor here. And not only just a supervisor, but we all know Lucy to be, well, probably one of our most social tigers. You know, I think Dash and Indy and Nova are social in their own way. But a cat like Lucy, there's just something about her. She needs to be rubbing elbows and hobnobbing with her caretaking staff here. Like I see her walking down to come and do with me, and I appreciate that. Are you a social tiger? Hi. Hi. Hi, pretty girl. Are you chatty today? Are you chatty? Yeah, they're up. They're in there. They're in there kicking butt for you and all your tiger friends. Looks like we're going to be going on a walk here, everyone. Look at that. I see Torben watching. Hey, Torben. Glad to have you with us. Hope you've left a comment, too. I can say hi as well. Lucy. Well, that looks nice. Talk about the head popping up in grass. Well, this is exactly what I was talking about. Sheila Corn-Smith, we were kind of talking about birthdays earlier, and you're asking a question. Just a curious question here, Miss Lucy, if I can keep my train of thought, Sheila. Just a curious question here, but if you don't have records for birth dates, how do you know about how old the rescues are actually, or is it like with domestic cats and it's estimated? You answered your question right there, Sheila. We do our best to estimate the age. Sometimes we are given documentation, but upon intake exam, our vet will look at those teeth, and maybe we're giving documentation for saying this cat is a 16-year-old tiger, for example. Well, if we look at those teeth, and maybe those teeth are maybe indicative of a younger cat, maybe they're indicative of even an older cat. I think those are some of the telltale signs you can look for. But at the end of the day, it does kind of come down to estimating, but calculated estimating by kind of referencing some of those things during those veterinarian intake exams to see if that documentation is ballpark or if it's just way, way out of league with what the actual age of the cat is. Yeah, there you go, Miss Lucy. Oh, oh man, that is just so adorable. There's your heart-melting moment of the day, courtesy of Tigress Lucy, and thinking about where Miss Lucy is rescued. I mean, this is the type of stuff that does make us emotional, and seeing a senior cat like her getting to live out her last, but albeit best chapter here at Sanctuary, getting to enjoy soft grass and in the company of other tigers and of course so many people who love her. I think these are the types of moments that remind us all of you know what we do and why we do it. And seeing Lucy in a throne of grass and flashing back to the type of habitat that she lived in for her entire life, where there wasn't any grass, just concrete and dirt. Something special, Miss Lucy. I'm choking up. Let's see here. Maybe I can get a different angle of her too. Daria asking, has Lucy been good about taking her shots and or meds? And that's right, Daria. Lucy had kind of become reluctant about receiving her Solensia injection. And so she received her first Solensia injection, I want to say, maybe all the way back in the fall. And she's been able to receive some partial doses since then. But what was happening is Miss Lucy had, as you guys know, was having some of those stomach issues. And, well, she had to be sedated for an exam, and she became a little leery of, well, when the vet is around with a needle. And that's how, of course, we inject that Solensia. It's an injectable medication. And so Miss Lucy is getting partial doses, and she is still a little leery, but caretakers obviously are doing what they need to do to kind of go on Lucy's pace and her own comfortability with these Solensia injections. Becky Garner asking, was there documentation on the cats that you got from Oregon? And you know, Becky, there was no documentation allowed on this rescue. I was able to take documentations of the exams for internal use only. It just obviously is going to help if any of that evidence is needed to help build the case. But long and short, the Wildcat Sanctuary personally was not able to document at that Oregon facility. Yes, yes. But by now, surely you've seen some news articles as well as, I think PETA wrote up a long and pretty thorough article as well as the public USDA records, just kind of spelling out all of the, well, just the tragic things that were happening at that roadside zoo. Yes, Miss Lucy. Yes. Henyatta saying, please tell the new witness protection cats we love them, even though we can't meet them. Oh, of course, Henyatta. And, well, and I'm going to tell them that you love them. I'm going to admit, I think Lucy's getting testy about another cat that she's seeing across the way, so I might go hang out with Winona. But we will send your love and then some, because you guys are already doing so much for these cats in Yada with the support that you give every day. So I appreciate you kind of going even further and really making sure that they know that they're comfortable. The bestest mooster. Now that's a fun little nickname, Ellen, for Lucy. Amy Wendell asking, I wonder if anyone goes in there to mow. I ask because I mow lawns for work. Well, Amy, you bet that we're mowing our spaces, and certainly when a cat like Lucy is going to be shifted out of her space safely, we're never going to go in there with Lucy. But yes, you bet we're going to be doing some mowing. And hey, if you're even in the Minnesota area, we have a volunteer mowing team. If you at all are interested in that, you can go to our Wildcat Sanctuary website, just wildcatsanctuary.org. There's going to be kind of about section, and then within that about section, there's a how to help, and you can learn all about our volunteer teams. So the grass, well, that grass has been growing. It's been very wet here in Minnesota lately, so we're certainly keeping up with it, but boy, is it growing fast. Leslie Howie mentioning, wonderful to see Lucy so active. I agree. A little special gal. Tabitha Lehman, sounds like a silly question, but I see her head rub her head on the fence. Is she wanting a pet? Or what is the behavior? Just feel good, affectionate, etc.? Tabitha, you know, that's a valid question. I think that we know cats too. I mean, you can kind of think of your maybe domestic cat coming up and greeting you. They're going to maybe rub their cheek on the, you know, the edge of the counter, or, you know, nudge their head up against, well, you know, notoriously things like glasses of water or whatever. So it's a little bit of a, you know, and I'm opining here. I'm giving my opinion. I'm far from an expert, but I also just think too that Lucy's getting a little bit of that stimulation, just like our domestic cats would, rubbing her cheeks like that. Lucy did come from a zoo where her former caretakers were petting her through the fence, so maybe there's a little bit something like that. And again, I'm mentioning that we're a no-contact sanctuary here at TWS, and we might not be doing that with Lucy, but maybe she still has a little bit of that kind of muscle memory or conditioning to come up along the fence like that. But at the end of the day, that's just really a thing a lot of our cats do, is they'll kind of rub up against the fence. Our bobs will do that, some of the lions and so on. So I'd say at the end of the day, that's just a good old kind of feline behavior. Lucy just kind of settled in under her platform. I wanted to see if I can get one last dose of that special gal. And Lucy is just, she's just such a funny gal. I think by now we know that, you know, Lucy and Winona, they certainly cohabitate with one another along the fence line. But you can see there's a shade cloth along the exterior of the fence. Well, we had one of our large transport vans that has one of our former rescues, Caesar the Tiger, a big graphic up on the side of the vehicle. Well, of course, Miss Lucy thought that that was a tiger next door, and she was spending a little time kind of grumbling and growling at the graphic. So there was a shade cloth put up there. Well, where are you, Lucy? This is the type of disappearing I'm talking about. There she is. And I want you to stay right there, pretty girl. You don't need to come up and say hi. You look so cozy. And I love that kind of at the beginning of the live post, what we were talking about, yes, you know, how it's, you know, up to the cats and how they want to spend their day. Mentioning how Katrina and her team, they're up here doing some cleaning. That means that this building has been fed. That means that they've, you know, had their waters topped off, you know, this, that, and the other. And what have we seen Lucy doing so far? And there she kind of wanders into her bedroom. What have we seen Lucy doing on today's live post? She's been rolling, she's been walking, she's been visiting. And again, it's just such a great testament to the pace of life our rescues get to have, and how they get to tailor it to the types of things that they enjoy. I lost you, Miss Lucy. Such is life. She says, I gotta go check out that bedroom. I bet they put some stinkies in there for me. There's some fresh bedding and straw. I gotta do all the things that a tiger does. All righty, everyone. Let's see. I think we might wind it down, team. I appreciate everyone tuning in on today's live post. About 85 of you watching. I also want to give a big shout out and thank you. When we made the announcement that we participated in that Bend in Oregon rescue, we reached out for your help to help cover the costs of these that rescue. And Winton was able to kind of check the Facebook live post, and of course I know some of you were mailing gifts in, calling gifts in. But I think there's about $4,000 in total between our initial announcement post and the live post that I did. So I wanted to give a big personal shout out to so many of you who stepped up to support these cats in a major way. Us mentioning that rescue probably cost, and this is, you know, maybe probably on the conservative side, it cost up to about $20,000, and for us to be raising about a fifth of that in just one day is absolutely awesome. So a personal thank you and a big show of appreciation from all of us here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. And again to Miss Winona. Oh, that's fine. I was just going to keep on blathering on, but we'll just enjoy ourselves and wind things down. TWS family always comes together for the cats, and how lucky we are for that, Hinata. Well, thank you, Ellen, for helping define what a chuff is to Maureen Austin, who is curious. And I think as Winona lays down her pretty head, I think that's going to be a great little conclusion for today's live post, everyone. It's Friday. Hopefully everybody has some fun plans this weekend. I kind of have to get to some spring cleaning that I never got to. It's away from home for 2 weeks on those rescues, so I need to get my nose to the grindstone. Maybe there'll be some relaxing, some recreating, but maybe all of you can make up for me instead. I can vicariously recreate through you. Nonetheless, have a great weekend. Thank you again for making it such a wonderful week for Living Wild at Heart for so many, even for the ones that you haven't met yet, our new witness protection rescues. And hey, we look forward to seeing you back here at the Wildcat Sanctuary next week. So again, have a great weekend, everyone, and we will see you soon.